Gaither with Lord, You've Been Good to Me. Folks, Steve Weatherford.
First you bore my sin and shame, then you said, son, you can wear my name. Oh Lord, you've been too good to me. Can somebody say amen to that? So much for me. Lord, you've done so much for me. First you saved my soul from hell, then you made my mind and body well. Oh Lord, you've done so much for me. Lord, when you found me, I had no purpose in me, and now I'll get to see you through all eternity. Oh Lord, you've gone so far for me. Lord, you've gone so far for me. I've got nothing that you need, even though my soul you free. Oh Lord, you've gone so far for me. Oh Lord, you've done so much for me. Yes, you have, Lord. I'm thankful for what you've done. Oh, Lord, you've been so good to me. Thank you. Thank you. It is a joy to be here this afternoon and share in this concert with one of my favorite singers, who I just got to meet just before he passed away. I followed his music for years. I grew up in a family of singers that strived for perfection and worked hard on blend and harmony, and we took a lot of things serious until the day I got a hold of a Paxton record. Then I found out you could have fun and do this too. Woo! And what a joy to meet him. I'll tell you, my first date with my wife. Are you back there? That's my late wife. She just got in here. Thank you, wife. Thank you for coming. She can tell you that on our very first date, I played her a Paxton 8-track. And I figured if that girl did not like Paxton, she wasn't going to like me either. I played Paxton for a lot of girls in those days, and that's crazy. I'm like, yeah, well, I never called them back. But this girl back here, she said, you got anything else? I'm like, yeah, we're going to be friends. And then we later on got married. About 5 years later, we got married. And at our wedding ceremony, I was playing all the usual, romantic music. And just before the ceremony started, I played Gary Paxton singing on a record, I think it was. I played I'd Rather Have Jesus, just to see if anybody was paying attention. A couple of you are. That's good. I thank you for that. Caught the meaning behind that. Then I got to meet him later on. Called him a few times. I was talking to Vicki today about the one particular time that the call that I made. I'm still learning from that short conversation. We had talked extensively about business and contracts and trying to working on one of his songs to record and trying to get the paperwork right. Consummate professional in that area. And after about a 20-minute conversation, there was a pause. And I remembered asking him, I said, Gary, I've followed you for years. I've always enjoyed your music, but I just want to ask you, how's your walk with the Lord? And it got kind of quiet on the other end of the phone for an amount of time. And finally he spoke up and he said, you know what, Steve? I said, I don't hear that question much in the music business, but I'm glad you asked. He said, I struggle daily to get through my whole day from the time I get up till the time I go to bed. I said, without the Lord guiding me and giving me the strength to get me through my day, I could not make it. And at first I thought, well, that's kind of, you should get the victory over that, buddy. And then as I grew in my walking with the Lord and my faith, I learned that that's the way we should all be. We shouldn't get up in the day thinking we can make it without the Lord, because we can't. And I learned that from Gary. Every day I get up and say, Lord, this is a new day, and I'm going to need you to get me clear to the end of it. I thank him for that. This next song is a song called Weeds. It's just cool. If I ever make another record, I'm going to put In the Garden on one side and Weeds on the other. You know why. We had a kid that sang with us for a while that was deathly allergic to poinsettias at Christmas. You know anybody like that? They would make him sneeze and cough. He had a real problem. We were singing at a church. They had probably 100 of them. And as the concert went on, the worse he got. Finally, toward the end of the concert, I just looked down at those beautiful poinsettias. I noticed every single one of them had something special about them. Everyone had a tag on it that said, Made in China. How many of you know somebody that's had an imaginary allergic reaction to a fake flower? I hope you like this song, simply called Weeds. Woo. I've been changed from a weed to a flower and placed in the master's bouquet. The weed I used to be met the harvest when I met the man who is the way. Weeds, we're all born weeds, full of sinful nature and strife. Weeds, just ugly weeds, planted in the garden of life. I like this part of the song. I get to do my church dance. You can join in with me if you want to. Here we go. Is your life an ugly weed or a pretty flower? Are you growing straight or blowing wild? Do you have your roots in his kingdom? Or are you still a prince of darkness child? Weeds, we're all born weeds, full of sinful nature and strife. Ooh, yeah. Weeds, just ugly weeds, planted in the garden of life. Here we go. You can be a flower if you let the Lord be yours, and you won't be a weed anymore. Thank you. God bless you all.
You guys enjoy that?
How many of you want to hear Meat Wagon?
No, now that one I like.
You like Meat Wagon? I've been doing that in our concerts.
You want to do that one?
I'll just do a little bit of it.
I think that'd be good.
No, you don't go away. I might.
Okay, yeah, you
I'm
don't
just
want to
gonna
duet.
No, you might. If you feel led, just join in. I see you tearing out your hair from those ulcers in your stomach that are caused by those problems in your head. I see you put on false disguises that don't even pull your mirror, and you're somewhere between alive and dead. I see you gamble on the chance that when you're dead, but that inner you keeps tearing you in two. And I can't help but worry what your soul is going to do when the meat wagon comes for you.
Give it up, guys.